Some people who have it naturally.
And here I am, you're thinking, you're trying to teach me how to be magnetic.
It's Ben Scheid.
I mean, I've done insane things to build confidence.
The Doctor Who of business.
Doctor Who of
Your
business.
network is your net worth.
People often ask me what I'm worth, and to be frank with you, I have lost track.
Podcast 01.
01.
001.
001. The first of many, hopefully. And this is interesting for me because I feel like you are the epitome of social magnetism, but you've built it over the years to become who you are. You know, you're a person that steps into the room and is magnetic. You've done, you know, TED Talks or a TED Talk on it that's got garnered over 1.4 million views. And you're a person that I consider a friend. So I'm going to ask you some questions that I already know, but there's going to be some stuff that I would want to know also, you know, so it's just going to be a array of different questions.
I'm crying from all these accolades that you're giving me. It's like, oh my goodness, who's that guy you're talking about?
Yeah. So to start off, what's the difference between charisma and social magnetism, or is it the same thing?
I think they're very similar, social magnetism and charisma. They're both something that you need to learn over time. Some people have it naturally, and as they leverage on their natural charisma, then they obviously become even more awesome than they are. Some people who have it naturally, they don't use it, or some traumas happen to them, and over time they lose that because of the aspects of the trauma on their own personality and their mindset. So I think they're very similar, you know, charisma and social magnetism.
Okay. And why did you write a book about social magnetism?
I wrote a book about social magnetism because the TED Talk I gave was you know, you've only got 15 minutes. So I could only share the three main aspects of social magnetism, but obviously it's a lot more to help you get to that stage. So the book gives you a step-by-step guide to becoming socially magnetic, whether you want to be socially magnetic in your job, or to attract a partner, or just to have more friends, or when you're going out. It really doesn't matter. But it just allows people to just feel comfortable in your presence. I'm not naturally, you know, I'm not very good at hospitality, for example. My friend Tanner is amazing. I remember at university, people would just flock to his room because, you know, there's a guy who is naturally charismatic and has a lot of social magnetism. So that's why I'm saying you can learn it over time.
Is there a ceiling with being socially magnetic?
So you may be socially magnetic, but if your underlying value system can't sustain a longer term relationship in terms of just either colleague or friend or partner, then yes, people will be drawn to you, but you won't be able to sustain the connection. If you develop the habits of being socially magnetic so that it becomes part of your persona, you know, number 2 in the TED Talk is trying to find value to give to people and constantly giving that value, then people are always going to want you to be around, wherever you are. So recently I moved to a new place, and already, you know, I've got the lady in the sushi place giving me free sushi, the guy in the coffee shop giving me free coffee. I'm not asking for it, I'm trying to pay them as well. They say, no, we really like you. You've got great energy, blah, blah, you make me laugh, you make me feel good when you come in. I literally have to shove my my credit card onto the systems. The guy in the curry shop, same thing. There's 2 curries where places. both the owners invite me in for, whiskey and stuff like that if I really want it.
Okay.
So being socially magnetic allows you to develop stronger relationships. I don't think there is a ceiling because you're always learning. An example is if, for example, I'm now an adopted Persian. I was hanging out with I don't know, 6 Persian guys. I was going to go, and they said, "Hey, you can. This is at a party. You can hang out with us." So now we're adopted Persian guy. They were speaking in Farsi or Persian, but I didn't understand it. But I could guess by their mannerisms what was going on.
What is real confidence, and how does one build it?
Okay, so part of being socially magnetic is having a certain amount of confidence. And you learn that over time. Yeah, as you get better and better and people just are very warm to you. For whatever reason, I sometimes walk into rooms and people come up and talk to me, And they said, when you walked in the room, I just felt an energy. And I could have just quietly sneaked in the back, So that's one thing. Another aspect is I would go into places. For example, a friend of myself, we were in this place where we do acting classes, and there were some comedians who were, before they're getting on stage, they were hanging out in this room at the top, and I said, let's go and see them. They were very reluctant. He said, are you disturbing them? I said, no, I mean, that's where we normally rehearse anyway. So I went up and we had a great time. But my friend was becoming more and more self-conscious and saying, we've got to go, and saying that to the comedians himself, which was bringing the whole kind of vibe down. Like, I don't want to disturb you. I don't like. They were quite happily giving us their Instagrams and showing some of their reels and stuff like that. So it just messed up that kind of his anxiety and his lack of confidence in being in the presence of great comedians, but they're just people like you and me. Yeah.
So how do you practically build confidence, if there's such thing?
How do you practically build it? I mean, I've done insane things to build confidence. One of my TED Talks on cowardice and confidence, that teaches you a little bit about some of the insane stuff I did, which was standing up in the middle of a restaurant and just reading the menu aloud, or on the underground and reading a book aloud, and just waiting for someone to, like the manager to shut me down. And it never really did. And some people, like some of the places, like when I did it on the plane, I read an entire book and they wanted me to read another one. There's a guy with a standing ovation. It was a children's book, but, so that I did that to help me gain confidence in some areas, and it worked. But prior to that, I already had a certain amount of confidence because, as a teacher, I have to do a lot of public speaking. So, I've had some disasters where I've had some, terrible students. I've asked the company, I said, in future, can you send me better students, please? No, I was teasing them. I mean, I'm always teasing my students as well. I'm saying, when they're giving me a hassle, I'm saying, I can't get the students these days. But I've had students try and take over the class and cause me immense problems. Yeah, and those hard times where the class totally failed because I should have controlled the situation better, helped me to learn, come back and learn, and at the end of that session, I felt like a total loser, really. But it allowed me to learn to think, well, what did I do wrong there? How could I have made it better? So that's how if you're willing to fall down and pick yourself up, yeah, that will give you the most confidence till one day, after you keep falling down, you don't fall anymore. You just stand up because you just know how to be with people. By the way, I don't know how to be with people. I think you've seen me be a bit insane sometimes. Yeah. So I'm just saying it just helps you a lot.
Yeah.
It's like the old analogy that we give when we're talking about failure, and people who are afraid of falling down and looking stupid. But we always say, look, when you were a baby, you were crawling, but in order to walk, you were first of all crawling, and then you tried to hold on to the edge, and you still fell down, but you picked yourself up, and then you tried to toddle on your own, and you still fell down, and your family would go, no, that's great, well done on walking a few steps, and that's that aspect of falling down and picking yourself up, which is so important if you want to gain confidence and ultimately social magnetism. Because here's the thing, when people laugh at me for falling down, and before I used to take it very personally, but today I'm saying, I'm just thinking like as if they can't grow. If they're laughing at someone else trying, those people can't grow because they're too scared. They're too scared to fall down, or they're naturally good at that subject, but if they want to learn another subject, in fact, they won't, because they don't want to look stupid. Yeah? And the only way you can get good is being willing to embrace that looking stupid, which was the whole point of me doing extreme reading, which is in my other TED Talk, a little bit about it. Or if you just Google Ben Chai extreme reading, you'll see tons and tons of videos shot very badly, but at least they were, I don't have professional film people seeing me. I would just literally, hey, someone, can you just to show proof that I actually did it, rather than, how people make up stories of what they did. Yeah. So this is social proof. He's done that.
Yeah, I think, what you say does definitely resonate with myself as well, because it feels like whenever I've gained confidence, it has been from the failure that you get. So it could be anything from approaching a girl to a job interview to, doing a pitch for, whatever it is. I've always learned from those failures as such. And that has gained me more confidence going forward, because I have prepared better for the next, time.
I think you learn a lot from that actually there are certain things that you can and cannot guarantee, and to prepare for that. And I think that's the other thing that falling down prepares you for, is to manage your risk. And think, okay, this is what's going to happen. And I think when you understand the risk, that also gives you extra confidence. Because okay, don't worry, I can handle it. You mentioned like going and talking to a lady. Like, yeah, sometimes they're going to shut you down. But hey, if you can walk away and just laugh, she shut me down, and you say, yeah, I'm such a douche, next time. And that's the other thing about gaining confidence. You need to be around people who are okay with you failing. You remember that when you're crawling and you walked 3 steps, everyone's cheering you on, and you fall down and they're still saying, hey, that's fine, get yourself up and have another go, or don't worry, tomorrow you can have You need to be around people like that. Rather than people who, like, if you fell down and say, you're stupid, I told you not to, you should be crawling, don't ever walk. That's not your lane. Business isn't your lane. To be in a job or do a business. Being in a job is shared, and you're thinking, but I love my job. Yeah. So being just. No, I like this. They may say, you're always been good in business. Why are you doing a job? Well, that's none of their business. Yeah, you want to do a job, do a job. You want to be in business, be in business. And if you keep on failing, but you get better in your job or in your business, that's great.
100%.
As long as you're happy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Actually, talking about, going back to your original question about confidence, so we talked about falling down, we talked about people who support you, and when you phone them up and you cry, blah, 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 and you say, hey, Al, you've told me you want to run a business. It's part of running a business. You're doing well. Okay, you've had a setback. You can cry. You can hide in your duvet, or you can come out for a drink with me, and I'll listen to all the shit that's happened and the people who've sabotaged you. But stick with it because you're good. Yeah, you're doing well. So you need those people. And the third one is practicing. So I was just talking about learning my lines, but I'm drilling it. Just going and again. And if I'm with someone who I'm learning my lines with, I'm getting it wrong, I just say start from the top. Start from the top. It might be boring for them. You just repeat until I get those words right. The same with dance. I used to drill it and my hands until I got everything. They say you should practice and until you're as perfect as you can be. And I don't think you should practice until you're perfect. I think you should practice until it's impossible for you to get it wrong. Because I went to a friend's wedding, right, in Poland, and being the person I am, there was 2 tables of us guys from England, and there was, I don't know, 30 other tables of Polish people. I don't know, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15 minutes, but it was a lot. And I thought, why don't I go and say hello to all the Polish people? As you know, they're my friends' family and friends. So I went to each table, and they were so pleased that someone from England had come to talk to them, even though they didn't know English. So, I had the old Google Translate with me, yeah, and I would try and, I couldn't really speak Polish, so I would just put it on speaker on the Google Translate. But we had a chat, and so they said, oh, yeah, you're so amazing. And so they all wanted to do cheers with me. Okay, that's great. So, 1 shot. No, we do it again. You're so amazing. Okay, 2 shots. Anyway, so I had 2 shots per table. I'm sure my kidneys hated me. And apparently, nobody's ever seen me drunk before. My friend, Daniel, who always has a bottle of whiskey with him, in a little flask, and he's always offering it to people. He takes me aside, Ben, you've got to have a tea and coffee. I need you to sober up because you're performing in 30 minutes. Anyway, there's no way you can sober up in 30 minutes. Just Impossible. No way. Yeah. And so my original partner didn't want to dance with me because she thought I might hurt her. So my good friend Susie danced with me. I have no remembrance of that performance. But she said, Benny, you actually did really, really well. It was almost perfect. There was maybe one bit where I gave her an extra spin instead of, which she executed, perfectly. Yeah. But that was it, and that's you're so rehearsed that even if you're had so much to drink. By the way, Polish vodka is really good. You don't get headaches and you don't feel ill the next day.
That's what they say.
I didn't feel like what. That you just. It's now part of your personality. The same with social magnetism. If you go through the exercises in the book and you go at a networking event or a party or whatever it is and you try some of those exercises, then maybe it'll go, but that's your first go. I remember when I was trying to speak to people, just people in a room. So my way of doing that is just going up to strangers in the street and saying hello. That's it. Hi. And I used to get it wrong all the time. They just walked by me because I said hello. But over time I got better. I started putting more energy in the hello. Hey. Hi. Oh, hi. And then, that's it. I'm not there to have a conversation. It's literally just to say hello. And then now I can get a pretty solid, 90 to 100%, depending on my day, of people saying hello back. Yeah. And that was, again, a practice at just being socially magnetic. just doing little things that you're not really good at. You're not really good at connecting, so, you know, do a few exercises and so what, like.
Is it like?
But then that's the ability, and I don't think everyone's got the ability to look. It's just a hello. If I look stupid, I look stupid. So on.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think like there is instances where, you know, for myself, I always look at whenever I've done something such as, you know, like I said before, pick up a girl, get a job regarding job interview, get a client, you know, regarding pitching or something of that nature. There's always it's almost like a performance, right? And like I said, through repetition, through those failures, being able to become better at it. Is there a way in which you can be more consistent with that performance? Because some people are mood dependent. There are.
Well, I was going to say that actually it's not, after a while, it's not a performance. It's just naturally part of you.
Yeah.
There's no performance. You really are being so genuine. Yeah. It's not like you putting on an act. In terms of your mood, like if I'm not in a good mood, I just won't go out. Or I'll tell the person, look, I've had a really hard day. I just want to dance. I don't really want to have a conversation. Is that okay? You know, I had one person who refused, who kept like bugging me to know what it was all about. And I just said, look, I've told you 3 times. And this comes on to the third aspect in the TED Talk, you know, of social magnetism. Some people you just have to walk away from.
But what about in the instance where it's not really your personal? Because obviously, regarding a girl, I could just be like, okay, I don't want to approach her. I'm not in the mood. Or even down to like not going for that job interview if I was still, you know, quote unquote, in that 9-to-5 life. But when it comes to your actual business, how do you change your mood in order to be your natural self? Because it's almost like those aspects of you make who you are.
So you want
like,
to change your mood to be your natural self. Is that what you just said?
or better be in a better mood so you can actually engage with, you know, you'll say that you have to pitch for a VC regarding, you know, this big deal and you can't get out of that meeting. Like, how do you sort of turn on that?
Can't you end the meeting?
Would you do that if that meant, like, you know, determining like what the outcome could possibly be? Like,
well, first of all, I'm trying to answer your question, but you know, if you've got an abundant mindset, it really doesn't matter whether you win or not. People want to win every single bloody piece of business, and like, dude, like, just it's fine. Yeah. We lose business for all sorts of reasons, which have nothing to do with us being there. So I, as a teacher, I've given some, in my opinion, terrible, you know, lessons. I've been very tired because I'm normally tired all the time. And anyway, but so tired, like, and I've got the best results. And other times I'm on fire. This guy is on fire. And I've had terrible results, you know, in the write-up about me. So I'm just thinking, I don't know, you know, I've been chatted up by ladies who I've not approached, and I didn't approach when I first met them. I didn't say anything apart from hello, you know, and just moved on. And then like 6, 7, 8 months later, they've approached me. Right? I haven't said, hey, I like you or anything like that, really. It's just happened.
It's funny that you say that because there is instances, even for myself, where I haven't been in the actual mood, but because I'm so, like, I'm not outcome dependent. I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it works, it's counterintuitive, but it actually works better for you because it shows that you're more abundant and you don't really care what happens. So therefore, the people know that it's a genuine, like, type of energy that you have compared to, you know, try to have some ulterior motive type of thing. Have you found that as well?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know about. or whether they think they do feel I'm very genuine, but
Yeah.
I think that they think I'm genuine because I'm autistic. So I just say what I think in my head rather than like, oh, I need to be socially aware. I'll say things or I don't. That's it. Or I'll say it in a joke. So that, so people say, I can never tell whether you're joking or you're serious about it. And I have to say, actually, even in my jokes, I'm serious. I'm just trying to say something, which I think if I said it directly, people might find too aggressive. So I've put it in a joke. I mean, you've seen me joke about some of your stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And you've joked about my stuff as well. So it's not as
but
if
the thing about it, like, because I've looked into that, right? So
like your hospitality, right? Yeah. Was it? Because was it a couple of weeks ago, last week? You came to my place. We did some business, and I said, would you like some vanilla coffee, right? And you said, oh, this is great, blah 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 blah. I said, and then I put it in a joke. I said, yeah, if I came to your place, it would be great if you would offer me some kind of really nice tea. And it was. But I didn't do it like in a really direct, horrible. I just put it in a joke, some people do this for their clients. Or even the people like they're paying money to. They do. And I know I wasn't the only one. I know some of your very famous clients have said the same thing. Yeah. But that's how I do it. If it really bothered me a lot, I'd say, look, Al, I'm not coming to your place, or I'm going to bring my own refreshments. Yeah. No. To tell you. So I'd be very direct in that case.
No, definitely. Going back to your question before.
The question about what I was like before.
Yeah, so, just to make sure that...
Sure. No, I've got this. Yeah. So what was I like before? Well, so your cameras wouldn't pick this up, but I suffer a little bit from eczema. And when I was born, I had eczema all over my body, on my face, on everything. It was so painful that if anybody touched me, I don't know if your viewers don't, if the viewers here don't really understand eczema, you get really horrible cuts on your body. Yeah, really deep cuts. That's what it looks like when it's really bad. And so if anybody touches you, you're in pain. Now, as a baby, you're going to be crying. So people thought I didn't want to be touched, but that has nothing to do with it. Yes, I didn't know. It's only today I realized that's why, So there was that, and also when you've got you're covered in eczema, as you grow up, you don't look good to people. You look like a monster, really, right? So people are either going to make fun of you, they're going to tease you, they're making fun, they're going to keep away from you, they're going to bully you. So that's my growing up. I didn't have, I didn't really have much self-esteem as a result, because then you create this kind of self-destructing kind of circle. So the more people shun you, the more you feel bad about yourself, the more you keep away from other people, the bigger the target you are, because you don't have any friends. And that happened. That was my life. I tried to commit suicide a few times. I used to be told how ugly I was and so on. So I didn't have much self-confidence. And that's what it was like. Now, I think somewhere along the way it changed. It was around university. And this sounds really cliched, actually, but I had some people, and they were Christians. And so they were talking about God, and I didn't believe in God or anything. I read the Bible and stuff. And I said, God, if you're really out there, then you need to make some kind of sign. And for me, whatever happened was a sign to me that God was there. So I became a Christian. And I said that's when, things started changing around for me. I started reading this Bible, and there's so much stuff on being socially magnetic and business and how to create abundance for anyone, no matter where you are, no matter how poor you are, no matter how rich you are, because there are a lot of rich people who are very poor in their personality towards other people. See, the problem with the Bible is it's so hard to read, because you read a story and you think this can't be true, right? But actually there's stories within stories within stories, and when you apply those stories to the situation and the context for that time, then you understand it better and what it really means to you in your life. Yeah, so that's what happened. I don't really talk about it because actually I don't really believe the same things as many of my Christian brothers and sisters. So I don't really say about it, unless people ask me, like you just asked me directly. And so that changed. Things started changing for me as a result of that. And, I started reading more books about developing your personality, about developing yourself. I started taking better care of myself in different ways. And I'd love to say, there I was, but no, it was, I'm still growing today, but I would say it would probably been at least 15 years since that start, before I became even confident enough to I mean, you're a natural at talking to other people on the street and guys, girls, whatever, but I didn't have that. Yeah, and my first lady, I had no clue how it even happened. I think I said, can we just be friends? And then over time that developed. But it was, I just didn't know what to do, really.
So,
Sorry, I would love to say everyone. I
know he
was
just cool. Yeah, he came out and he was just.
Oh man, baby.
Yeah, I think we all would love to say that. I think there's only one person I actually know who's, literally through and through, is just naturally charismatic.
I think also today, so many people have gone through a lot of traumas as children, which messes up their charisma. Yeah, it causes anxiety. 100%. It causes them to be suspicious. Yeah. It causes, I've quite a few friends. This sounds like really bad, but who've been raped as kids. Kind of mess them up. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, what was it when I was looking at statistics? It was only about, maybe up to 20%, if I go with the Pareto's principle, of people who've just had a great childhood. Parents were great, brothers and sisters were great, school was great. Yeah. And I just think that's amazing when you're around them. They're just so calm and peaceful. No, things are going to work out. Yeah, it's just fine. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if you've met any people like that.
A couple.
And you're thinking, is that true? Right. Yeah. No, I had great. Yeah. I had great uncles and aunts. Damn, why can I have one of those? But actually, you would never say, "Damn, why?" Because then you wouldn't be who you are today.
Yeah. Like you're happy that someone's had a great,
I'm really happy.
And I think we all are, or most people are happy for that. But going back to, the thing that you were saying regarding the Bible and everything else, was there any other books that sort of led to your path of becoming socially magnetic?
Well, I would say the Bible led me on to other books, because I started reading a lot of Christian books on relationship. I started going to a Bible school in another country. So I started reading all those books, and then from those I progressed on to books by people like Wayne Dyer, who I don't really know whether that guy's a Christian or not, but he looked at every single religion, so the Islam faith, the Christian faith, Buddhism, The Art of War,
Yeah. Sun Tzu.
Taoism, Hinduism, and he looked at all the things that were the same in each religion, and then he developed a philosophy around that. So I learned a lot from him. There was a guy called Norman Vincent Peale who has a book called The Art of Positive Thinking, and that was very useful. Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. There were a lot of books that I actually read about connecting and being a great friend and so on, which helped.
What do you think of, like, the more darker side of magnetism? And I say that based upon, some people say, the 48 laws of power and the manipulation tactics that Robert Greene outlines. How do you feel about those sort of type of people, and how do one stop themselves from, okay, they have the power of being socially magnetic, how do you use it for more more good reasons compared to
I know a very manipulative person who everyone likes because he's friendly, blah 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 blah, but he does what we call microaggressions. So you almost don't see it. It's very imperceptible, right, about other people. And some of the things he'll say is, don't you think the way Al did that was interesting? So he doesn't say anything bad about you. And then you say, what do you mean? Well, and he said, well, no, what do you think of it? Oh, yeah, all right. And then let's leave it. But if you do lots of those, about people.
Yeah, it gets you thinking.
It gets you thinking.
Yeah.
He's very good at hiding that, and until people point it out to them, they won't see it. The people that he's manipulated. So that, and that's why I was saying before, when you were saying, what value system do you have what do you need to be socially magnetic? And I'm saying no, I know some really horrible people who are very, to use your original word, charismatic. There's another person who was on loads and loads of stages, but he hurt a lot of people. And, even I was, I'm human as well, thought he was amazing. But when I did due diligence, and because of my cybersecurity background, I did really deep due diligence because it was so hidden. I found out so much stuff. And I wasn't really believing people who'd been hurt by him until I started digging up this stuff. And then I also have some really great connections. I've got a friend who's a secret agent who as a favor for me, had a look at it and just said, this is our file on this guy.
Wow.
Basically. But he's too small in the world of the things we do in terms of hostage negotiation and stuff like that. It's just really small for us.
So in the sense of that, because I think a part of life, unfortunately, is like you have to know how to navigate and almost be able to spot certain people that may be taking advantage of you or manipulating you, and that is a skill within itself, because like you said, getting away from the crocodiles is part of your mantra, right? So how do you recognize an actual crocodile?
Okay, so some crocodiles is really easy to see. A mile off.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are, I think the phrase is a sheep in wolf's clothing. They're really a wolf, but they're trying to disguise like, hey, no, I'm a cool guy. What are you doing? Can I buy you a drink? That kind of person. Those are harder to spot. And I think you have to think about the impact on you. So they could be nice to you, but is it sucking up your energy? Dealing with them. Or sometimes you just have to go through it and come out on the other side and then reflect and think, what were the signs, and then the next time with other people that you see the signs, you decide not to move forward with them, either in business, either in friendship, either as a partner, because you see these small signs that are happening, and whatever your tolerance level, 3, 4, 5 times, 1 time for some kinds of, when people really cross the boundary. I think the harder aspect of that is trying to differentiate between someone who is charismatic but has made and is manipulative, and someone who is just unaware, like, you know, because I'm pretty high up the autistic scale, so I had to learn a lot of being socially magnetic, but I'm a high functioning in terms of autism, which means I can still learn and reflect and understand stuff. So it's differentiating people who cross a boundary by accident because they're socially unaware, and people who are doing it in a manipulative way. I think that's what you have to take into consideration. Have a look at their background, what they've done in the past, and so on.
Let me ask you a question, because it's, for example, we got a common friend called Adam, right? And
I always, whenever somebody says
family.
Adam, I always think the Addams family. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Or Adam West from Batman. I want to go bang, whoosh, whack.
He's a real Batman, you know. Forget Christian Bale. But anyway, in a sense of what Adam told me this a long time ago, and it sort of, you know, resonated with me, because at the time, when we was having a conversation, he's been in different partnerships, and at the time I was looking to get into, you know, a particular partnership, and he has said to me, like, the one thing that he does, he sort of gives the person enough room and enough rope that if they want to hang themselves, they can, sort of thing. Do you believe in that? Like, sort of like, okay, you got access to all these bank accounts, these things, that just to see if that person is trustworthy, and don't mind if they do go against you, then at least you found out that they were, you know.
I think that's a really interesting approach to life, giving someone enough rope to hang themselves. I've met a few people like that, and I normally tease them. I said, have I hung myself yet? Do you need to give me some more rope? Because I think living that kind of life, you're almost. I don't know if you know the mental disorder of being hypervigilant.
No.
So a hypervigilant person is constantly looking out for threats from other people. Like if he's walking or she's walking down the street, she's like, that person looks suspicious. That person is XYZ race. They're like this. This person, it's a horrible mental disorder, because you're constantly feeling under threat and looking at risk, and you probably react very quickly. There's a friend of mine who thought someone was trying to break into his car and hit them. Went over there and hit them, and actually they saw that they thought the car was unlocked. I can't remember what they were trying to do, but they were just trying to make sure that it was safe. Anyway, they weren't trying to break in and hospitalize them. Wow. That's what a hypervigilant, someone suffering from hypervigilant, has, that kind of like anger inside. It's horrible, very tiring. And some people don't know they've got it until... And that's what I think about people who are trying to give someone enough rope to hang themselves. No, because, like, why would you want to do that?
No, but...
Why would you want... I've actually met people like that. Why would you want them to steal the money and go through that whole thing, or take the database, or...
Yeah. But I think what he was trying to like say, it wasn't really that being hypervigilant. It's almost being carefree and being like, you know what, I'm gonna give you access to everything, and if you do screw me over, so what? You know, it's that sort of like nothing can harm me, you sort of mentality. And I feel like you two.
Well, he was really harmed badly.
Yeah,
several times.
Yeah, but he's just like, as long as I'm living, that's the main thing. Like,
but it's not. Okay, look, for me, if people want to live like that, that's great.
Yeah,
I'm happy for them. For me, that's not a good thing.
Okay.
You know, I'm not. It's like, you know, I like this book by Norman Vincent Peale, but The Art of Positive Thinking, but not to the point where you're delusional. Are you going to walk in the middle of the motorway all the time? Oh, you know, if it happens, it happens. I mean, that's basically what you're saying to me. Oh, I'll just give this random person. My dad gave lots of people opportunity. Really, he's helped druggies and stuff like that. None of them are his friend. Most of them, you know, he lost several businesses as a result. He was in massive debt as a result of these people. That's what it's like. And being when you're owing, you know, several million, it's like being run over. So this is what it's saying to me. Like, do you check whether they've got qualifications? Do you have a look at positions they've been in the past, and have they managed that finance in the past for those people? Do you have any people you've worked for who can give me assurances that you are not, you know, going to look after my finances? That's why those aspects are in place. I think sure is in small businesses sometimes we don't have the time to do some of those due diligences, but I remember this guy. He is worth over 100 million, and I met him in Vegas. Do you know where? In Vegas.
Caesar Palace.
No, I met him in the shopping mall.
Okay.
He was setting up a popcorn stand. You know, popcorn?
Yeah.
I asked, he has a massive popcorn business. He has outlets in the States. He was looking at coming to the UK when he started talking to me. Anyway, I don't know, call it my social magnetism, whatever it is. Here he is, this CEO, worth over 100 million, having this conversation with me. And I said, so why are you doing it yourself? He said, because first of all, this is the launch of this outlet in Vegas, and also I like to be there at that launch. I said, how do you employ people? And he said to me, well, first of all, I used to try and help my friends and my family and people in his church. And he said, I don't do that anymore because most of them, they're not interested and they think that I owe them a living, right? So he personally used to interview people for running his business. I said, okay, so just out of interest, because my degree's in maths, I always like to know numbers. How many people do you interview to find a good person for your business? He said, probably out of 100, I find one good person. And I will go through. So he's going through all these people just to get it right. Mm. And it's a pain in the neck. I said, how many hours is it? He said, it's a pain in the neck, Ben. I know. But I lost a lot of money. It caused me not just money, but it cost me my relationships with my friends, my family, people in my church. So I have to tell them up front, this is a business. Yeah? Mm. I'm not here to, you do well in business, I'll promote you. You do terrible in the business, I will fire you. So fast. Mm. Yeah? Goes through their qualifications in a friendly manner. He was quite a personal guy. Yeah, I'm kind of giving you the hard version. Yeah. But that was it for him. So there's no I'll give them enough rope to hang themselves, because he had enough people hanging themselves, and I'm not going to cope with that anymore.
Yeah.
This is a waste of time and money.
Mm. So let me ask you a question. Do you trust your friends?
Do I trust my friends? Some of them. The ones really close to me.
Okay.
So there are people. You probably know one of the guys in my dance group went off with a lady I was seeing, right, and lied to me for several months to my face. Yeah. So I'm really careful about certain people. Really, really careful.
And it's harder.
There was a guy who was living in my place, and I was dating this lady, and he would say things to her, like, "You're only with Ben because of," like, and I never found that out till over a decade after we'd split up. What he was doing? Because I would have thrown him out straight away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are certain people that you will trust 100% with your money and with even your partners. But those are the majority of people have very few people like that in their lives. I like to think I have a lot of them, but you never know till it happens, right?
100%.
I mean, I like to think I've got a lot of really good people in my life, because I've spent ages with some of them. I've spent ages, but like I said, you just don't know.
Social magnetism goes beyond just like the surface level. It goes into, seduction. It goes into, and seduction, some people say it starts from the time that you actually start engaging in a conversation with a female. Like, so when you take those steps, there's...
You mean flirt?
Flirt, exactly. So how do you define someone who has bad attributes or good attributes?
I think if you're a good person, like, people would see that, and probably that's the best seduction you can have. And if they don't want to be with you because you're too good, that's fine. There's other people who will. Yeah, seducing. It's. You see, here's the problem with this word seducing. It means you're trying to get people to do something that they don't want to do. So why not be just naturally socially magnetic and attract the people who just like you? Isn't that nicer? And who come up to talk to you and say, "Hey, can we hang out sometimes somewhere?"
So
I know that's probably harder in some countries for, because of the social dynamics, because you're talking about dating here. So I'm going back there where the norm is for the guy to ask the girl out. I mean, America was great for me, because I never used to ask girls out, and I, not because I didn't want to, it's just I had such a low self-esteem. But girls in the States would come and ask me out. So, but I had no clue what they were trying to say. One asked me said, "Oh, my car's broken. Would you give me a lift home?" "Yeah, sure, okay." And you can have a look at my books. Okay. So I'm there and I was like, "Okay, so where are your books?" Just never got it. Really didn't. And then after a while, "Okay, yeah, no, I'm tired now. I can go home." So there's like, but in terms of the whole attraction things, just being good and adding value to people, being interested in them. The reason she talked to me is because I was just in this bar. There was this, I was singing along to something that was some song, a musical. She liked musicals, and she was talking about her friend who's a business called Vogon Construction. And I said, "Oh, that's after Douglas Adams' book, Life, the Universe and Everything." And "Oh, yeah, that's it." And that's how we got into the conversation. I didn't even start it. I was just hanging around being me, right? Just, out there enjoying yourself. And I think that's really important. If you really want to be socially magnetic, just find things that you enjoy. And if you don't have something that you enjoy, just go and try some stuff. And if you don't enjoy it, that's boring, I don't want to do that, or that's too much for me, and try something else.
What's your thoughts on?
I don't know whether that answers your question on the seducing.
Well, basically, you basically just put it out there that seduction is something that is either in you or isn't really, and it's a natural thing that occurs. So it's not really seduction. You're just providing value, and thus, whatever happens, right?
Okay, so
that's what you're saying.
Yes and no. Whatever happens. So I learned from my failures. Like this lady, I said, my friend set me up on this date. So we're in the bar. She says, "Oh, maybe we can go back to your place and watch TV." I said, "Yeah, sure." So I took her back and we're watching TV. And like, oh, she said, "No, I don't like that." And, I think I should go now. It would be nice if you kissed me. I said, "I can kiss you now." No, it's too late. So but I learned from my failures. Yeah. And I said I've read a lot of books on relationships, but I've also read a lot of books on dating and relating. And I've come to this conclusion that there are only a few people who've what they call have game. And by a few people, it could be less than 1% of the population. So all you need to do, really, man or woman, is to go up to say to someone, "I like you. Can we go and hang out together? Go for coffee, go for tea, go for a drink, whatever, just to get to know each other." And I think that, if you want to call that seduction, that is the best seduction. And sure, other people who might be better at putting it out there will have a higher strike rate in finding someone. But if they're looking to have lots and lots of these interactions, it's very wearing. So if someone doesn't want the interaction because you're not seductive, that's great. That's really great, because you want someone who likes you the way you are. And someone who's going to say, he's a bit of like this is an old word, a dipshit, right? But I don't know what you call them these days, a nerd or whatever it is. It's like, but he's got good energy. I'm going to go with it. And yeah.
So
isn't that nice?
So are you familiar with calibration and what calibration is?
That's like, I went overboard here, or I should be a bit more advanced and stuff. You learn that by your failures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
maybe you like someone. And here's, there was a lady I went on a date with, and we went to this restaurant, and I didn't want to go on with her on another date afterwards. And here's the fantastic thing about this lady. She phoned me up a couple of weeks later and said, I thought everything went well. Why didn't you ask me on another date? And I thought, I admire you for doing this. I said, look, here's the reason. We went to a restaurant together, and you were more concerned about the service from the restaurant and more about these. I'm more interested in chatting with you, and you were more concerned about all these other things which had nothing to do with it. So that's why I didn't move it forward. Another lady has done the same thing. Why didn't it? Well, it's because no matter what I did to help create a conversation, you kept shutting it down. That was it. You never asked me one question back about me. Yeah. I was asking you lots about you, but you would answer in one, so how's your day going? I don't want to talk about it. Blah, 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 blah. So that's why I never asked you on another date. And here's the thing, Al. If I'd spent all my time calibrating and seducing and going on second and a third date only to find out that these people are like this, I've just wasted a lot of time, being with these people. It's just like, this is a first date.
100%.
Yeah.
I think.
So if I need to be, I need to carry.
No, I think you're right there, because I think when I was really young, and started speaking to girls, everything from the clubs or whatever to, you know, 'cause I was able to get into clubs really young because I had hair on my face from like 15, 16.
Look at you.
So I was going into clubs with older
The
people.
hairy man.
Yeah, basically. But my point is that, you know, at first when I was getting into the whole dating life, my whole fixation was, okay, I have to be 100% success rate, or at least a high percentage success rate into getting a number, getting to know a girl, you know, meeting her up, doing everything, you know, up to sex or whatever. And it was a thing where it's not until you have a lot of these interactions that it became a thing where, look, if she doesn't like me for me, like, and my personality and my sort of vibe and my stupid jokes, then I don't really want to be around her. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to sort of like manufacture, like, you know, an interaction, because based upon me being able to calibrate, like you say, and being determined, like, oh, this is the right thing to say at this time, and this is like, you know, because it's almost textbook, and sometimes you have to throw it out. You have to be like, okay, listen, this is who I am. I'm a bit quirky. I say things maybe at the wrong time, but it's in a jokey way. She, you know, the person that is into me knows my sort of humor, and that's who I'm going to resonate with. And depending on who she is, she may be the most beautiful girl, average, or below that, but whatever it is, at least it's a real interaction compared to me manufacturing one. And that's what I discovered over time. But initially, I think a lot of young guys, especially if they're below 20, they're like, oh, I need to get the girl because of how great she looks. And sometimes she may not even be the right one for you because of the way her personality is, her vibe, you know, may just be...
And you may end up in a very expensive divorce.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it really is. Yeah, it's your time, your energy. And if, you know... I think, you know, great... This whole calibration stuff, it's great to play with it. Yeah, you know, just to see it, but didn't think, you know, actually... This is because hey, if every conversation you have with a person you're having to calibrate, this is going to be really tiring. Like, gotta do it like this. Yeah, okay, yeah, she's giving me her number. Great, okay. Now how could I get another day? Oh, I got a Caroline. This is nice.
Yeah.
It's just
you know, it gets ridiculous. Even down to the texts. Oh yeah, you can't text too much, otherwise she's, you know, showing. Like, you know, you're providing like too much interaction at that time, so you have to pull back, and all this sort of micro game, I call it micro game. It's just stupid, because at the end of the day, if whatever you're doing is gonna make her like just get turned off you, then maybe she ain't the right girl for you. Like you said, like maybe, you know, a girl that doesn't mind you, you know, quote unquote making mistakes, but it's not really mistakes, it's just who you are. You know, that would be like...
Especially if you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs make loads of mistakes, and they're happy to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to find out how this works. You know, I mean, talking about the game and micro games. So I think there was a book called The Game by a guy called Neil Strauss. Yeah. So I've actually read that book. And I really like all the games he plays. That's why I like it. So I'm just going to go and play the games and see whether it works on people. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's what I liked about it. Yeah. I can't remember what they are now, but that's what I like doing. I remember it wasn't really to like, you know, I just want to see if this works, just for fun. Yeah. All right. Oh, okay, it worked. Don't know what to do now.
But you know what I got from that particular book is the fact that it sort of made me understand, like, okay, listen, no matter if you had a million interactions with girls or you haven't, you still need to go out there and talk to people.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that the best thing you could ever do, because, you know, not everyone's read all these books and so on. And today I just find that the easiest thing that anyone could ever have done is just go and say to the other person, you know, I'm really nervous, I'm shy, but I really like you, and you know, would you like to go out sometime? You know, yeah, I'm not, whatever it is. Do you remember I think it was in the 80s like, he's a nerd, I don't want to go out with him. You know, that
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
phrase. If you look at all the nerds, that everybody wants to go out with the nerds because, yeah, he's a nerd, but actually, he's really good. He's consistent. Sure, he's a bit autistic because he's just very focused on computers, whatever it is. And also, he has money.
Yeah, exactly.
I like, going back to the game, Neil Strauss's last chapter. In order to win at the game, I had to leave. I think that's what he says.
Yeah.
Because all of this stuff of chatting other people up, and you've got men and women. You know, I've worked with ladies who teach, I think in those days they called it pickup, right? Or who teach guys and girls how to pick up other people. And it's because their self-image was based on the number of phone numbers they got and how many people they got home, how many people they slept with. And he said it was just, you know, they didn't have a good job. They couldn't be consistent. And if they had a bad week because they're dating coaches, that's their self-image that got messed up, right? So again, this whole calibration thing is just like, and I thought it was very telling, his last chapter. I had to stop doing pickup, basically is what he said, and just go out, be myself, have fun. Yeah. I think the lessons he learnt had helped him now with just probably relaxing more. Just go out having fun because he learnt all these crazy games. I just amuse myself. See, it works. I wonder if I can make you say, what is it? Because he's got a game where if he asks you, you can't tell the truth. So he's going to ask you 5 questions, and he's got a bet. I'm going to bet you a drink that within the 5 questions, you will tell the truth. So what you have to do is lie. Okay. So if I ask you your name, you can't say Al. You have to say Fred, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah,
I love that. And I tried it out. Just for fun, I tried it out on everybody, not just women, but men. Who cares? They're just fun games. And I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, I remember, like, I think he was talking about his mentor, someone that taught him. He was a magician. He did, like, tricks.
That guy called Mystery.
That's it, yeah, Mystery. So he would do magic tricks, and then the whole club would be like amazed by it. And you know, it's just different means in order to grab people's attention, especially in that atmosphere. The club atmosphere, you know, is completely different to online dating or anything else. So a lot of those things don't apply now. But
what I did hate is, you know, when I'm talking about girls coming talking to me, some girls would come and talk to me at some of these places, and then a guy would interrupt and say, why are you talking to my wife? Yeah. In fact, it wasn't their wife, obviously, and stuff. I just didn't know what they were doing. So later on, I thought, you know, I need to stop this from happening and just do a really... So I haven't done this with you, or maybe I have, but, you know, I used to take over the whole bar or the club. By takeover, I mean, I used to just find a way to be friends with everyone in the bar. So now if I'm talking with someone I like talking to, they don't come and interrupt me. Yeah. It was a really fun game that I did. And so I used to do that right before I did anything else. Okay. I mean, today I don't care really. I just tell saying, do you mind I'm talking? That's my wife. Okay, if she's your wife, then she should tell me. Can you just leave us alone?
That's it. No, that's fair. So going back to, you know, social magnetism, what's your thoughts on body language?
I'm not really good with body language. Yeah, and I think there's some, because people are trained in body language, so they live by it, which means that you need to exhibit good body language to people who believe in body language. But, you know, if you're like this, you could be cold. It could be like you're just cold. And, you know, like I find 20 degrees hot. A lot of people find it cold, right? There are cultures when you look at people in the eye, they hate it. Yeah, they find that disrespectful. So body language is one, it's cultural. 2, it's circumstantial. And 3, if people believe in body language, then find out, this is part of social magnetism, find out that they believe in body language, go and read a book about body language and be open with them like this. Just for their benefit. Not because you believe in it. It's a bit like, I used to, this is negative social magnetism now. People used to tell me about, what star sign are you? Leo. I would say no, I don't believe in it. Yeah. Oh, I'm a Aries, a Leo, a Pisces, whatever it is, and I'm like this. Come on, tell me what your sign. No, I really don't believe in it. It's this shit. Yeah, how can everybody? I was terrible social magnetism. Just that's their belief system. Okay, go with it. Go and learn about star signs just for the sake of. This is part of being socially magnetic. And later on, if it's really important, you can say, okay, I just did that to but really, it doesn't rule me. It's not my guiding. And lots of people who believe in this stuff say, no, it doesn't. No, but I'm interested. That kind of stuff. So today I work with whatever it is they throw at me. I'm XYZ, I'm religious, I'm not religious, I'm an atheist, I believe in star signs, I believe in aliens. Okay, that's great. Tell me about it. I don't care. Unless I'm in a rush, then I care. Right, okay, I'm really sorry, I don't have time to talk. Tell me about it another time.
I guess it builds rapport as well. If you have a like you said, being socially magnetic is showing interest in that person. So if that's their belief system, why would you,
undermine it and be disrespectful to their belief system? I'm saying this against myself. This is part of me growing into being socially magnetic, because that's what I used to do. I used to shut them down, basically. So why would they want to talk to someone who won't spend even 5 minutes understanding their belief system? That's terrible, isn't it?
No,
naughty Ben.
No, 100%.
Naughty Ben.
So going into it, why do you call yourself the Doctor Who of business, and how does it connect with being socially magnetic?
Well, first of all,
right.
I didn't call myself Doctor Who of business. Somebody else called me.
Okay, let's dig into that.
Who of business.
So where did that come from?
I was at an event for book writers.
Yeah.
And the person called me the Doctor Who of business because of my very, let's call it eccentric. I think it's normal myself, but let's call it eccentric behavior. Remember, I'm a bit autistic, so I don't see all the normal cues as well at people. And not only that, but I do have a skill. And the skill is for any kind of business challenge you give me, I could probably find a solution to. People call it thinking out of the box, but I just think thinking. Because some people are too out of the box when, just like these people who say, you need to go international, you need to do this, you need to do with your business. I'm thinking, okay, how much do you want to earn? I just want to earn 2,000 a month. Okay. Why do you need to go internationally? Well, you can have that with 3 customers. They're too out of the box, yeah? So I'm just, okay, in the box, out of the box, get rid of the box. I really don't care. Let's just have a look at your time, your money, your whatever it is, and see what we can do. And that's why they call me the Doctor Who business. If you watch Doctor Who, they just give him unusual situations which other people can't resolve, and somehow he fixes it.
So,
and everybody likes him in the end.
Yeah, 100%. He is the definition of social magnetism in a way, right?
Initially, some of them don't like him, but they do in the end.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got their preference of which particular Doctor Who they like, but I think across the board they're always quite eccentric, charismatic, etc.
Yeah.
And has social magnetism. But going back,
and they can think.
You
can be socially magnetic and not be able to think. You can be charismatic, but you don't think out of the box.
So, okay, let me ask you this then. So, someone who's socially magnetic, such like a Doctor Who or being a Doctor Who of business, is it providing value, as in solving the problem, but not looking for an outcome where it benefits you? So you're almost doing it that sort of Jesus type of approach where you're just giving out this value and not necessarily looking for anything in return.
Okay, well, there's two components. One is you call it the Jesus value. Yes, just helping people for the sake of helping them, not looking. There's lots of things that people don't even know that you've done. That's it. And there's things where you're doing stuff to gain a connection. Right? The important thing is you know why you're doing it. Yeah. And that's it.
And which one do you feel like is it down to the individual to determine which one they should do more or less of, or
depends on how much they like the other person.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Wherever I can, I will give value for no reason at all. Yeah. And then afterwards, we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of people I don't do business with that I'll help. If it starts eating up my time, then I just have to draw a line. So, it's like, but if I can just hey.
Okay, so this is a bit of a funny question. What is Ben Chai's morning routine look like?
Oh, terrible at the moment. My morning routine, it's trying to sleep if I can.
So
at the moment, my sleep is terrible.
So don't you feel that's, partly affecting everything else? It has a
Yeah,
knock-on effect?
it is. It's my fault.
So obviously you work hard, like even in your stuff that, talented, multifaceted. So you're doing like performance, you're acting, you're, obviously running businesses as well. How do you, have you got to a point, or are you still trying to search for a point where you've got that balance?
I don't really believe in balance.
Yeah.
I know it's preached a lot. You need to have a work-life balance, but I just don't believe in it. I think it's your life is circumstantial. Like, the work-life balance is how much time do you spend on your relationship, how much do you on exercise, how much do you... There's a book by Randy Zuckerberg. Okay, she's Mark Zuckerberg's older sister. And I can't remember what the name of the book, but in the book she says you can only ever focus on 3 things at a time. And choose whichever 3 you want for that week. Health, relationship, business. Business, friends, hobbies. So just choose any 3. But it's just really challenging to do. Like, just for example, you're not getting on with your partner. Are you going to spend all the time in your work? Or are you going to spend a little bit more time with your partner till you get through that storm? Or your business partner runs off with, the entire database. Are you going to spend a little bit more time minimizing the risk and the damage there? And by a little bit more time, I mean, like, you're going to be working till late, really late at night, and not that gym that you were going to go to that day. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So, or I don't know. The doctor's saying, okay, listen, if you carry on the way you are and not get this exercise, then you're going to be a cripple by the end of the year. Are you going to spend more time working on in the gym than actually? Okay, I know I can make a lot more money if I close this deal, but I need to sort out my health. So that's why I just I'm not a great belief. I think it's a lovely goal that we should all aspire to get to, and probably when you reach a certain financial status, then that's easier. And that financial status is different for everyone.
No, 100%.
I don't know whether that helps. So just three things.
No, I think you've touched upon it. Also, like
How many friends do you see compared to the number of friends you used to see when you were studying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you go to university?
I did go to uni.
All right. Did you see your friends a lot more when you were at university?
Yeah, 100%.
And today, do you spend more time on your business than seeing friends?
My business.
Yeah.
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 It's funny thing is that like just over time, it's like, you know, you start to gain friends in business, so then.
But some of them aren't really your friends in business. Yeah, I mean, you're just going out and drinking or whatever it is, or having it for coffee, but.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
in a sense, there may not be quote unquote business partners, but there may be some overlap of the type of work you do. So you're have the value exchange being equal as such, where it's like, okay, just for example, I know a heating engineer, right, who's my friend, and I had some issues with
he
a
hot?
property.
Is he hot?
You know, but I had some issue with a property, and
Yeah.
he came in and he fixed the boiler. I paid him for that work.
My builder's my friend.
Yeah, so,
You've met him.
exactly. So my point is that sometimes there is that overlap.
Yeah.
Where you're both, and this is someone that I grew up with. So like,
Okay,
there's an
but do
overlap.
you? I'm talking about the majority of the people that you were friends with. Do you still see them as often as you used to?
No.
Maybe once a
No,
year
no,
if you're
you don't,
lucky,
you don't,
right?
You don't. Yeah.
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 Your work-life balance has changed.
Yeah.
And that's because your situation and circumstances change. When you reach a certain level of finance, you'll go back to seeing more friends.
Yeah.
I promise you. Yeah. It's just, you know, that's just how it works. Or if you become retired, you would just spend more time with friends and catching up with people you grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if your relationship is rocky, you're just going to spend more time there. If you're going through a breakup or a betrayal, you'll probably spend more time just nursing your wounds, your emotional wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to have a work just because the situation changes. Yeah, people going through some of the wars that are happening around the planet. Yeah, the civilians, not the people not the troops.
Yeah.
How their work-life balance has changed tremendously.
Yeah. Crazy.
There's no balance. Yeah, most of them are scared that tomorrow they won't live.
So, you know, going back a step.
Let's go back.
How do you define introvert and extrovert?
I'm really simple with introvert and extrovert. I'm not a Myers. I like Myers-Briggs, but my introvert is I like staying at home. Extrovert, I like going out. You know, going out, meeting people, getting energy from people. That's an extrovert. Introvert is I just like my quiet times at home, with a book, writing, whatever it is, or with just a few friends. But even those few friends need to go home at some stage.
Yeah.
Whereas an extrovert, no, let's just party on, man.
No, the reason why I sort of brought that up is that certain people, they use whatever they are, if they're introvert or extrovert, or how they define themselves to be either or, they sort of put themselves in a category like, okay, I can't maybe interact in a networking event because I'm more of an introvert. So they sort of, if they do interact with anyone, it may be one person when they could have had the opportunity to interact with many and to gauge who was right for whatever they were looking to do after.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think about that?
So in our book on social magnetism, we just generally share with people that at networking events, you probably only want to get to know about 4 or 5 people. You really don't want to get to know everyone. and cut the time short with some people. You can work out the vibe straight away. Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to be able to add value to everybody. They're not going to all be able to add value to you. And you won't have anything meaningful if you're, yeah, I just came to this event, can I have your number? I just came to this event, can you offer me a job? It's not going to work. Just find a few people, and that takes time, who you're naturally going to have a connection with.
No, but is it important to overcome your own self-talk where you say I'm an introvert? That means I don't interact with X, Y, and Z.
So when you do that, you've labeled yourself.
Yeah.
And you're creating a habit that isn't going to work for you in a certain situation. Like, I'm an introvert, right? I love being on my own. I really do. It's like, so cool. Oh my goodness, Al wants me to meet him at 3:00. Okay. Yeah, I'll go out, I'll have a good time. Yeah, but I like being on my own. Yeah, but, so I'll go out. It's funny, a lot of people think I'm an extrovert, but actually I'm an introvert. Yeah. And I think you shouldn't use labels to control how you live your life. Yeah, so here's my label, I'm an introvert, but does that mean I shouldn't go and talk to people? Does that mean I shouldn't, create courage and confidence in doing something else? At least I have a choice. And at the moment, by using labels, I'm creating zero choice. I'm stuck in a belief system. I am what I am. I can't grow. I can't evolve. Yeah. There's so going back to people who like star signs and stuff like that. So I have a book called The Birthday Book, which tells you about somebody's personality on a certain day. This is the day and this is your personality. But what I like about the book is that it also says, okay, this is your default personality, but an evolved person. So it says, okay, these are your traits, but you can overcome them. And this is what an evolved person of you looks like. So I like that. And I would say the same thing. Rather than getting entrenched in introvert and extrovert, create a choice for yourself so that, okay, I get my energy on my own. Yeah. But I'm going to go out and do my best to talk to people. Yeah. And find, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll find a friend. That's great. Maybe I won't, but let's see if I can create some fun doing it. Yeah. And maybe I'll never like it, but for whatever reason, I don't know what the reason is that you need to go to a networking event, but I need to be there. Whether it's business, whether it's partnership, whether it's just to get out of your house, because, that can be quite toxic for your self-development. Yeah. By being at home all the time. And I have friends who think that if they just stay at home and they pray for their partner, that God will give it to them. Give that partner to them. Bring that man or that woman or that alien into your life. Yeah. Right? And they are still on their own. Yeah? I don't know, whatever reason you need to be out there for. So you got to do it. Just try and make it as fun as possible.
So
I've just read Neil Strauss's book. Can I try a game that I read on you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a line.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
okay.
this is right. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, like, what I was going to go into is...
I need to read that book. I do like his games.
Yeah, the games... Well, I just remember that there was, like I said, one person, which was Mystery, that did the magic. I would like to find out what those tricks were, actually, because they were pretty cool.
These are games you can play with everyone.
Oh, okay. So there's no magic.
No, there's no magic. It's just like this game. We'll better drink. You
Oh, I
know,
see. Like
If,
fuck,
if,
marry,
if,
kill.
if you can lie all
Okay.
5 times, then I owe you a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
okay.
those.
Yeah, like
those-
little bar games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little bar games.
Yeah.
These are great.
Like fuck, marry, kill is another one.
What, Mary?
Fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah,
So,
I remember this game, but I
so
can't remember.
basically,
I remember.
you or the girl, like they point out somebody, and also they would say to you, like it's usually a girl would choose a girl would choose a girl that you may like in the club and point her out and be like, oh, you know, would you fuck, marry, kill her? And then you have to do the same for her with a guy and be like,
Unless
you know,
unless they prefer girls and guys.
what depends on what
whatever they like.
whatever
yeah.
they like, and after you point them out, and after they say, "Oh fuck, marry, kill," like you know that person I'll fuck, that person I'll marry, that person I would kill.
All right, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's like a bar game. You know, just a common one. So I think the 5-question one is another bar game.
I prefer the 5-question game.
Yeah.
I just don't like saying fuck a lot.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Maybe he likes that game because you're saying it and he wants the partner to think of that. Who knows?
Well, maybe. But like the 5-question
Fuck,
game.
marry, kill. Yeah, got it. I thought you said fuck, marry, girl.
Oh,
It's fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah. So
Marry, fuck, not marry, marry.
fuck, marry, kill. Yeah.
So he said fuck, marry, cure. or
Fuck,
whatever.
marry, kill, marry, kill. No, fuck, marry, kill. But yeah, in a sense of like how your success, they say your network reflects on your net worth. You know, social magnetism, like all the success that I sort of trace back to the stuff that I've had in my life has come from those connections of either, you know, in a sense of, okay, I have had a mentor or I've connected with somebody that has provided, like, you know, me meeting somebody that's helped, you know, grow my business in some sort of shape or form. Going into a different industry, you know, I've had to interact with certain people in order to get that to come about, and to gain, you know, assets in that particular industry. You know,
He's got assets.
yeah, but that's all come from meeting people in the real world, and you know,
As opposed to the fake world.
well, I say that in a sense that everywhere is the real world, right? Because whenever there's a human behind it, there's an interaction.
Okay.
But I mean, like, there's always an opportunity to show your social magnetism, right? So if that's a determining factor in becoming successful, you know, how does someone sort of gain better social magnetism in the business world specifically?
How do you gain better social magnetism in the business world?
Yeah.
Generally dress like everybody else, unless you don't. What does that mean? That means once you reach a certain level, then you don't need to dress like everybody else. But up until then, just while you're getting to know people, just dress a little like them initially. Yeah. And then later on, as they've got to know you, you can dress, you know, the way that you like to dress.
Okay.
But you need to find a way to establish that base. There are a number of circumstances, well, actually loads of circumstances, where I haven't dressed like everyone else. So when I was managing the network for West Thames College, they have 500, 1,000 computer systems. I dressed in a suit. All my colleagues dressed in t-shirt and jeans. Now, as a result of that, I was asked to teach in their business center, so I got an extra income by dressing differently, right? But if I just wanted to just do that, and I don't know, I think when you dress well, people, rightly or wrongly, think of you differently.
Okay.
Yeah, really. In the editorial world, again, it's just It's not really, you're not really in a suit, but I would be dressed up. Oh, or a nice jacket like this. Yeah. So.
Is there any change that you have to do regarding how you interact with people?
In terms of language?
Yeah.
No, you still need to find ways to add value. I don't really know whether this girl was chatting me up, but there was a lady who, when she left the business, called me up to have dinner with me. You know, and paid for my dinner as well. And she just wanted to, she said she wanted to say sorry. Okay, but you can do that over the phone, right? So yeah, this is me being a bit autistic now, reflecting. Was she chatting me up? I don't know. The reason we had the conversation was the team thought I was trying to get rid of them. And she realized that actually I was trying to help them save their jobs because the CEO didn't like what they were doing. Yeah, so I was educating them in other ways to write rather than just the way they'd been trained at university. Right, and the concept is you write for your audience, not in the, well, that's my style. No, as a writer, you have many styles. And depending on your audience, that's the style you want to write. Yeah. It's like, why would you speak English to someone, you know, so to an Italian who doesn't understand English?
Yeah.
It's why would you do that? Same with writing. Why would you write in, you know, in doctor speak for a business person? They just won't understand what you're talking about. Or they'd get bored and not read it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So busy executives tend to like just a bunch of bullet points. Okay, explain that bullet point. And that's it. Other readers just prefer nice paragraphs and stuff. They don't like bullet points. They feel like you're being condescending. You know? So you just need to work out who your audience is and write for them.
100%. 100%. So, in a sense of...
And sorry, what was the question? It was like...
It's basically your network, your net
Oh, yeah,
worth, and, you know, how that equates.
Should
to,
you dress?
Yeah.
How do you connect? I think also a lot of people started in jobs and they built their network while they were in jobs. This is a great thing about jobs, by the way. Like, you're going to make mistakes, whether it's in a job or in your business. Yeah? It doesn't cost you anything to make the mistake while you're doing a job. In your business, it could mean the world to you. So this is another reason why I like jobs. Hey, if you employ me, I'm not working for you to make mistakes. Just so you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what be your final thoughts on social magnetism and how someone could apply it to their life in order to...
Which part? You've touched on so many parts.
So,
you talked about business, you talked about dating.
Yeah, so...
You didn't do family. I wish you'd done family.
No, let's do
Yeah.
that. Let's touch upon family, because I think that is obviously something that I overlooked just now. So, in a sense
overlooked?
Overlooked.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, how would you add social magnetism or be socially magnetic with family?
So, how would you be socially magnetic with family?
Yeah.
Family's actually really tough because family tends to pigeon you, you know, in a label that you had when you were a kid. They tend to. So I think by you learning the aspects of social magnetism would help them get out of that mindset. Like just being more interested in your family, looking at ways to add value. I made a mistake this Christmas. I got somebody a present. it wasn't a Christmas present. I just get people presents, but not particularly for Christmas or non-Christmas. And I realized that I should have given them, I don't want to say what it is on the internet, because I still may get this person this present and I want to surprise them. But I realized that I knew the things that they liked, and I got a present on a guess. So because I know what they like, and in terms of value systems, then I really should have got them a certain present that is in line with their value systems, what they like, and what we've talked about. Yeah. We always talk about certain things. So I talk about, with some people, about eczema because I suffer it. I talk about you because you like superheroes, so I talk about superheroes. So whatever it was that I was talking about, I should really have got them a present on that.
So you never, so you still could get them a present?
I still could get it, yeah.
Yeah.
I probably will. I went out shopping
Okay.
a few days ago. I thought, yes, that's what I'm going to get them. They're really nice people, so.
Yeah, so in a sense of that, is that the socially magnetic part, like understanding the person, so being able
it is.
to...
It's totally understanding them.
Yeah, so because they are family, how does the social magnetic part...
So don't get
is
them
the value.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Don't get them sweets and stuff. Get them something that, based on conversations you've had with them. Yeah. Candles, chocolate. Oh, is it too easy? Flowers, too easy. Yeah. But when you get them things that, hey, this is what we've had the conversations and stuff like that, I know they like it.
So in a sense of social magnetic with family, does it dig a little bit deeper than just that?
Well, you kind of know them better, right?
Yeah.
People in your family, so it should dig deeper, right?
So if you want to get the desired response from that family member...
Why do you want to get a desired response?
So for example, maybe they're your child and they've done, their behavior is not what you desire it to be.
You're talking about being a parent?
Yeah, so in a sense of being social and magnetic, it may be able to get them to...
Okay, so let's talk about eating vegetables as a parent.
Yeah, okay.
Right. I think you can have social magnetism in parenting, but parenting is in itself, neither socially magnetic or not. They're just different strategies as a parent.
Okay.
So let's talk about eating vegetables. The way I got my kids to eat vegetables is I used to say, look, in our family, we try everything. If you don't like it, you don't like it, right? But you've at least got to try it. And also what we do is we eat the nice thing with something we don't like, but we know is healthy for us. Do you think vegetables are healthy for you? Yes, I do. Okay. But they don't taste nice. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is mix some of the nice thing with the horrible thing, and the horrible thing will turn out nicer. So that's how I got to eat them to eat vegetables. A friend of mine doesn't let them leave the dinner table if they don't eat their vegetables. Another one will not allow them to watch TV or play their games if they don't eat their vegetables. Right? I don't think any way is socially magnetic or not. I do find that if I'm using the stick approach, which is a valid, parenting technique, and maybe I'll teach the kid boundaries, but I really want to teach my kids how to do things that maybe they're not so keen on, like eating vegetables. I mean, today they're grown up, they love vegetables. Yeah, give me more of that. My brother still doesn't like vegetables, so he doesn't eat them.
Yeah. I think it's...
And if you give them the stick approach, unless they get used to vegetables and it becomes a habit. But I don't know. I think it causes a bit of rebellion in them. So like, yeah, I only used to eat it because I was threatened. But
So you don't think being social magnet is being persuasive?
I mean, that's being strategic.
The reason why I say that, there must be a lot of different scenarios in which you have to deal with your family, and you have to be persuasive in order to get them to do something that's in their best interest and your best interest.
I didn't
as a
talk to my
family.
parents for over a decade. Today we're best friends. Yeah. So, you know, in the third component in my TED talk, like crocodiles, you need to get away. They don't support you. When you fall down, they stick labels on you so you can't grow. Right? Today they love me to pieces. I'm the golden child at the moment. Tomorrow maybe I won't be, but at the moment I'm the golden child.
So do you feel like at one point they were your crocodiles?
It was difficult, really difficult. You know, and plus, you know, I'm this age and they still think I'm a kid, right? You know, and as a kid they thought because I was covered in eczema, I had no friends. Well, that's not true. I had some really good friends, but only one or two of them. That I wouldn't amount to anything. So they always thought I was a nobody in some ways.
And you outshined.
I don't know whether I outshined or didn't, you know, but I just, it was hard not speaking to your family. Really hard. People used to say, Ben, I see you smiling, but I think there's some sadness in you. And that's true. You know, I'm just so happy when I see grown-up adults who just have great parents and they love their parents to pieces. I mean, a lot of adults love their parents to pieces, but I'm talking about because they were great friends rather than in spite of the fact that their parents are horrible to them or whatever trauma they've got. By the way, if you're watching this and you've got terrible parents, all us parents, we don't mean to be, but we cause the traumas in our kids and we don't mean to. Yeah. We still love you guys.
What's your final thoughts on social magnetism and how someone could build up their social magnetism if they're lacking of that?
If you have a lack of social magnetism, then please read my book. Really, because this will give you a step-by-step guide to developing your own personal brand of social magnetism.
You're not gonna plug the actual TED Talk as well?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to plug the TED Talk because I think everyone will have seen the TED Talk if they're watching this interview. And excuse me a second. And if you haven't seen the TED Talk, what? Where have you been?
Okay, well, thank you, Ben. This is, like I said, the first of many. This has been very, very interesting, intriguing, and great. It's always great talking to you, Ben. So I'm just going to wrap this up. And yeah, social magnetism.